right, so here I have something very interesting in that it's something that people have called a scam or a sham or tragic, disastrous, all of that and more. Some people have their games, a lot don't. What is this? Epic 7 A Rise of Board Game. This is the final production copy. I did have a prototype of this a long time ago and they said it was like terrible, don't even play it, so I didn't. This is the final thing, so let's get to it. All right, now I want to note a few things before I dive into this. This is not me working with Farside. I haven't heard from them since the failure around their Avalonia game, which I actually really liked. But it didn't work out on Kickstarter. I think part of it was the fact that Epic 7 was so bad. Instead, Japanime Games actually contacted me and said, hey, we have a copy. Would you like to take a look? And I said, well, sure, because I know a lot of you haven't had this yet. I had a weird prototype, so I wanted to kind of dive in and see where it's at. You know, I mean, I think a lot of you may not even think this is real. So, I mean, obviously I have it right here. So it's a real thing. It's just not getting to people. Let me know your thoughts, especially if you followed the campaign a lot. I have not, because I was not a backer. However, I am concerned about some of the, obviously, you know, words like scam that have been thrown out around there. I know that, well, I believe that Farside is a Chinese company, and I believe they use kind of some AI help when it comes to translating what their updates are, from what I can tell. And they're just not good at updating anyway, and sadly that's something I see a lot of. I guess let me comment here. Linen finish on everything, and the back looks fairly good. Definitely a retail kind of thing, but I do like the contrast here because it's such a colorful game that I like the pop of the color. So you got a little bit over here kind of spilling over, which is, I think, kind of nice and faded and good. But otherwise, it's actually quite dark, so that really pops, and the text really pops. I think that's pretty cool, so I do dig that at least. Gigantic warnings, though, like all over the place. That's kind of crazy. 200 plus tokens, dear Lord. Okay. All right, so I don't even know if there's like expansions or something that I don't have here, or if it's just this, or kind of what's going on. Obviously, they're really big on the IP, and so you get all the kind of the art and stuff like that. So that's really cool. This is a nice introduction to the unboxing experience. You know, when you do finally get the game, assuming you do, your first experience now is with the actual game is going to be opening the box and taking things out of it, right? And so it's important to get this right. All the art on the side with all the characters, that looks cool. It's cool to see so many characters. You know, it's I think it's a gacha game, you know, one of those kind of mobile games or whatever. Now it looks like this is just a little kind of lid. It does have a little lip on either side, just kind of placed it nicely. I'm actually going to keep that. I think that's pretty cool. And kind of keeps everything, you know, maybe put in a little bit. So now here is the rule book. I'm assuming it doesn't say the rule book or anything like that on it. You can see there's minis and all sorts of other stuff. We'll take a look at all that. Now, it has been years since I have looked at the prototype at all. Like I said, I didn't even play it or anything like that. So how this is different, I don't know. I do worry that the game isn't even necessarily good. I think I've heard some rumblings around that. Of course, it's all personal opinion. It's 15 pages of rulebook, so if nothing else, I can read this super quick, which is nice. Like, I do appreciate that. That's good. There is no index. I was not expecting one, to be honest. On that back, they do have a nice little reference thing, right? And it's not too small of text or anything like that. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit. Show you guys this. Hopefully, if nothing else, whether you guys get the game or not, this kind of helps document what should have been a nice delivery of a, you know, IP-based board game. So the fact that we didn't get that is kind of unfortunate, regardless, just because of all the delays and stuff. But I do like this. It's kind of all over the place in that sometimes we have color and sometimes it's just black and white. I don't know why. If there's a rhyme or reason for that. Also, almost all the colors blue. There's like one green, one red, one yellow, I guess 2 red there, and the rest are like shades of blue and then black. Very interesting, and I don't know the difference between, like, why is this here on the right versus the left? Like, what is the, is that the token and that's the symbol of the token? I don't know. No clue. But either way, at least that's there. So again, didn't see an index, not surprising, but it is only 15 pages, so that helps a little bit. Game content, they do show how many, what it is, and a picture of it. So I do appreciate that. So I know the difference between artifact cards and equipment artifact cards. See, that would be confusing, except I can see they are very visually different on the front side. On the back side, not really. So that's super nice to see the difference there. So like that is an example of why it's kind of useful to have this. Enemy HP tokens, I don't know if that's all of them or not. I don't get a number. Same with like status info tokens. So I would have like a number on each of these, preferably. Game set up for 4 players. It does have, you know, like the numbers and all that, so that's kind of nice. I see little arrows and stuff like that. It's sad that they're meeples. Thankfully, I got miniatures, I believe. Hopefully, we'll see. Game flow overview. It's nice to start with that. Game phases. It seems fairly, you know, well thought out and all that, so that's nice. I don't know if there's any English or anything like that in here. It looks like it's done pretty well, at least from what I can tell. Minus, again, the fact that it needs an index, as all technical documents should. Okay, next up we have what looks to be the character cards. Now, these are just kind of loose in here, and that is a little unfortunate. I would like to see a little slot or something like that. Maybe even, you know, tucked in here, or who knows what. But it is easy open, so that's nice. I do appreciate that. Very helpful for the unboxing, which, again, first experience I'm having with the game. Before I've read the rulebook, before I play the game, I'm opening the game up. Make that pleasant. Okay, so as you can see, they have different abilities. And then this, I will say, the black text without any, you know, glow or outline or, you know, anything like that on this kind of darkened area, very hard to see, right? Like, that health, armor, and speed does not show up well. The black on the gray is fine. I don't know if I'm sold on the gray. It's kind of odd to have kind of a dark gray as like an outline. I would think it'd be a little bit more stark than that, but maybe gray shows up on all of them super well. I don't know. So it looks like they are one-sided. The other side just has like information on it, which I think for an IP game, I appreciate more than otherwise. I know a lot of times it's like, hey, put something there that's useful. Don't just, you know, waste it with like lore on game components. But for an IP game, it's a celebration of the IP. So people who love the IP will get a kick out of that. So I'm actually more in support of that for established IP. I understand everybody and their you know, grandmother wants to have every IP that they make become like some huge success in the next, like, I don't know, whatever, but the next Star Wars. But it's just, wait until there and then add the episode 4 is all I'm saying. Okay. So either way, they have these, and these are much easier to read, these like skills that they have. Notice this is like the direct icon from the game by the looks of it. What's interesting is this looks blurry compared to these two. Like, that looks a lot more crisp than that. So I don't know if there's a different quality of that, or I'm not sure what goes on there, but it looks like it's trying to reenact, you know, different parts of the game, which is cool. The text is kind of all over the place. Like, this is okay. Again, it's a little, you know, dark on dark, but it does have a little bit of an outline, which is nice. And I think it's more of a difference in, say, like that dark blue and black. But then you get really tiny font here, and I don't agree with tiny font, especially when you have something this big. I understand you want to have the art all big, you want to have this cool design, you know, shrinking this way and all this, but and then, you know, have these nice little bars here, but all of that fun design doesn't matter if I can't read it, right? And so, especially with board games, you get a little, you know, get some older guys, you get some nerds with big glasses. No offense, I wear contacts. I'm just saying, like you get people that can't always see well. You're playing in game rooms that aren't always lit well. Just from an accessibility standpoint, I want to see bigger font on, especially when there's the only excuse not to do it is to make it look cool. I like how this seems to be like a saying that each person has, so that's kind of cool. I like this guy. This guy looks awesome. I like his armor. Yeah, so that's really cool. Looks like she's got like a book thing and like I don't know, what do you call that? They have them in like Warhammer all the time. And then this person has a little drone person and a phone, because yeah, that's how I homing laser and meteor cannon. Where does that come from? Probably the little floaty thing. Looks like a healer of some kind. Yep, regen, of course. There you go. And then we have this bad demon dude guy. That's freaking sweet, but very, very dark. Look how dark this is. And also I have this like scratch here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever had that in a game. That is hardcore, but that is so dark. It's one of those things where I bet it looked good on a computer, but I'm not sure they actually spent the time to look at like the printed file and then get back and be like, hey, that's too dark, because it's pretty obvious. The most ridiculous character in any game ever. And then this guy who also looks really cool. I love it's kind of like a school uniform, which, very anime-like, but also kind of like ready for battle, right? Almost like an officer in the army kind of thing, but like he's going to like, army school or something. All right, so that's those. There's a fair bit of those. What is it? 4. It's up to 4 players, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so double the player count. I'll accept that. That's fine. All right, now we have a whole bunch of stuff on top, including minis, but we're going to take the mini sections out. We'll look at the minis afterwards. So don't you worry about that. Try not to look at them too much. We'll dive into that. Okay, and we have some more here. And then we have, I don't even know what is, this is just, okay. Well, that's different. This is a kind of an interesting way to organize stuff, I guess. I mean, it's thematic, and I do appreciate that, but it certainly doesn't beat, like, I don't know, a tray. But because, like, it works for these bagged items, but these are not bagged. Where do I put these afterwards? Because they're not going to be wrapped at the end, right? Whereas these I can put back in bags. Do I have to find bags for these? Probably. All right, well, I guess let's look at all that junk first. I'll move that over here. And we'll look at these, because these look a little bit more boring than like character card stuff. Kind of stuff with more art on it. These are not like easy open when it comes to like the, little gold or red or whatever the color is, that you like pull around, the little tab pulley thingy. I don't know what that's called. But they do have the folded, that's not like super duper glued together, so I can actually open it up that way at least. Okay, so looks like here you just got blue and you got red. Looks like they're close to even. So is this just like not a whole lot of art on this? I don't know how I feel about that. It depends on how the system is. It's definitely easy to see, and I do appreciate the style. Like, don't get me wrong. Like this whole, like I don't know what this is, like a hexagon kind of look to it, like somebody like stepped on the paint or something like that, or whatever. And then it's all angled and different font sizes, and it looks nice. It looks really nice to do that. And the red versus the blue, very, very vibrant, which I appreciate. But there's not a whole lot to it, right? It's pretty much just very. I mean, it's. I don't mean to say this as a quality of the product, but as just how much it costs to do this. This is cheap because you had to make 2 images really, and then you made all these cards versus something like this that's much more expensive because you actually have to make the art. Now, I don't know if they actually made any art for this. It might all be from the IP, so maybe it was just kind of cheaper in general. I'm not exactly sure. Now for these, they're a nice size. They're like kind of zombicide size. They're very, very smooth, like to the point where it almost feels like now my fingers are smooth. Like I always feel like when that happens, I don't know if you've ever felt that or not. Like it's like there's a residue on here that fills all the grooves in your finger, and that's why it's so smooth. That's what it feels like. So there's a thin layer of powder that I've like now got on my fingers. I don't know what that is. Either way, I can see actually a little bit of bend on the light from the cut of the card. That being said, with the size of it, they tend to stay pretty sturdy anyway. These are okay. It does look like they will kind of keep a shape instead of bending back too much, but they're thicker than other board game cards I've had. And again, with the size of them, because they're not super big, the smaller it is, the thinner you can have it, essentially. So, and it still kind of support itself. So it's not too bad, actually. Let's see if I can open both without using my knife. It looks like the answer is probably going to be yes, which is cool. I do dig that. Open this up. There we go. Get that out of camera angle so it's not distracting. Okay. All right, so here we have what? Enemy attack, skills again. More and more skills. That's all. Okay, so a lot. But these skills actually have stuff on them, as you can see. So let's go with the art. First of all, no border. And whoop, and at least for this, I would say that the contrast is high, right? So you got the white, but notice the little fade of black here to help with this. So I do appreciate that. And then at least for now on this one, it's on that purple. It's pretty pretty, the contrast is good. Let me zoom in a little bit more just because these are small cards. Okay. Very anime, especially with the one eye open, one eye closed. You know, God only knows what that's about. What is it, like a brother sister? No, that's not a brother sister. Yeah, I don't even know too much about that. I wish I could speak more on that. It looks like there's a little bit of text here, and that's why they kind of graded out there. So that's kind of nice. That's probably the most I've seen. It looks like instead of parentheses, they use the brackets. Kind of an interesting choice. That's fine, of course. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of all over the place when it comes to that. This right here, I've noticed now is more light versus light. It's still noticeable, but not as much. A border around it or a faint, outer glow or something like that, I think would help make it more noticeable. Also, this pink, it looks like is going into the white. So it's like it's not even as pure white. It looks like it's tinted a little bit. Maybe that's just me. I'm not exactly sure. Otherwise, most of them show good. That's a cool image. I like the stained glass look in the back there. So yeah, there's a lot of these. And it almost looks like these are two different styles. Right? Like this looks less digital to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. It looks more hand-drawn to me than like something like this. There's a lot of stuff here. Oh, she lost her phone. That's sad. Yeah, this is cool. I'm seeing all sorts of different moments and stuff like that, right? Unfading memories. Look, each one kind of fits what they're, here's the prayer beads. Those are big prayer beads. Or the staff, right? So they're all relevant to it. It's not just like random screen grabs. So that's kind of cool. I imagine a lot of these like Holy Sacrifice. I imagine that fits the story, right? That I don't know what the story is, but if you're a fan of the IP, I bet you do. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so that's that. Now, again, these are still skills in the background. Now we have some equipment here, which is interesting because I saw there was like a staff thing there, so I figured that would be that. Maybe it's the staff is like a title. I don't know. Otherwise, it'd be kind of weird to have equipment there and equipment here, but have it not labeled equipment. Yeah, these are cool items and stuff, though. Very anime, right? Right? Is that an axe? Is that really an axe? You tell me. An aqua rose. Of course, we need that. That's important. A lot of this looks like it's from like the movies, the CGI stuff they do. And now we have another number system, which is kind of interesting on here, but it looks like it's actually numbered. We have 2 of every number. Again, must be for some reason. But anyway, now that I've opened that, I have no idea how I'm going to store it because like this doesn't really like, I don't know. Don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. All right. We got some Standees. I'm going to take one out just so we can test Standees. But otherwise, I'm not going to show you guys Standees stands. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. I say that, and then I feel that this one seems way different. So it's open in the middle. I'm not used to that necessarily, where it's completely open there. It does have, the little clasp here, and then it does have these little things here. So it will probably mark the standee that you put there, put a little indents in there. But otherwise, it's actually fairly clear, which I do really appreciate. They're not always that clear. We have 2 little dice here, pink and green. Again, loving the colors. I think that's just a lot of fun. All right. They're really small, and they're just pips. The green looks much more clear than the pink, but they are both clear. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, I like the color. I do appreciate that. They're not like super special when it comes to like IP related. They're obviously not that, but the color choice is nice. Now these meeples look weird to me. I'm not used to meeples looking like this. So that's kind of strange. Looks like you get 2 of every color. Looks like. Here's the purple one here. They look more like regular people, so I guess that's the thing. I like this more than a regular meeple. I will say that. I think that's legitimate. And it's a little bit taller, a little bit easier to grab and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a painted piece of wood. I don't know what you want from me, except the design choice, which again, I think I like it. It's a little bit of a different shape too. It almost looks like a chess piece, like a pawn, right? But it's not, it's a person. But in a way, it is kind of like a pawn. Oh, maybe that's story related. I don't know. I don't know the story, but either way, kind of cool. So we do have extra bags here. I wonder if anything could fit. I doubt it. Oh, maybe we don't. No, we don't. We just have a bag of bags. So we got some clear gems. If you have not seen these, you're new to gaming, in which case, welcome to gaming. If you have seen these, because you aren't new to gaming, I'm not going to show you them again. I'm just going to comment on the color and the clippings. So yeah, I really like this light blue a lot. That being said, if I have to tell the difference between these two on the game board, I don't know that I always will. So the dark one, though, when it comes to the clippings, that's probably the easiest. You can see, hopefully, right here is where it kind of comes off the sprue. And honestly, it looks pretty good. They're always going to show up, again, right here. But yeah, no, that looks fine. That's just where they clip them off of the main sprue, where the plastic's actually injected into it. And when the plastic is clipped, it turns white. It doesn't have whatever coating that they have on the inside. Okay, well, that's all that. Again, I have no idea how I want to store it, but whatever. Now, we do have all of these. I'm not going to open each one. We do have 2 big silica packets, so I kind of dig that. I'm not going to open each one of these, but I do think it's cool that they say Epic 7 Arise on there. I think that's kind of nice. It's very cool. It has nothing to do on the side or anything like that, but on there it looks cool. So I do dig that. That's a nice little touch. We're just going to open chapter 1. So it looks like this one comes with, and it says right here, encounter tokens, a Queen Dean token, a portal token, story cards, boss cards, and enemy cards. They are in tuck boxes, which means the moment you open them up, you pretty much ruin it like I just did. Now it's all bent out of shape and ugly, which is why tuck boxes are like the devil. Okay. A very, Cthulhu Death May Die-like in this sense, where you get all these different things. Okay, so standee-wise, you have 2 different kinds here. You have probably the more normal kind, like this, where it has, like, oh, jeez, I'm just throwing stuff everywhere. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Okay. So anyway, where they have, like, this, like, outline. I don't know if I like the color of the outline, but it's fine. It's a neutral color. It's okay. It's okay. Look, it makes it almost seem like it's on paper. It is front and back, so you do have that at least. Yeah, it's fine. I think it pops okay. Now for these, obviously a little bit different, a little bit more generic. It's just a little circle, almost like a door, with the art in there. But they also then write stuff on there. Now, again, I will say it is kind of hard to read this, right? This has good contrast. This not as much good contrast. And you see here on like this one, where it actually has like that dark blue there, like that's rough. That is rough. In fact, it looks like it almost looks like there's a negative there or a dash. I don't even know. I have no idea what that is. And again, why is this, that versus something else? I don't know. When it comes to the actual quality of the cardboard, it feels fine. Like this, there's not a whole lot of squishiness at all. I do see the layers. I don't know exactly how easy it is to, yeah, you can definitely ding the inside there, but overall, it's not bad. It's all linen. But not a egregious linen finish. Now that right there is not good. So I did see that on the corner. Yep. So at least on the corners. So as you play this game, you are going to start showing some wear and tear on that. But they seem to punch out fine as well. Let's take a small one here. That does not look centered to me. So if we take a look at this token, I'll even hold this way. Looks like there's much less room here than here. So there's definitely like off to the right. Now, sometimes I feel like they do that on purpose, but most of the time I feel like it's not on purpose. Here, I feel like it's not on purpose. But we do have that. We got some cute stuff here. And what the difference is here between that, let's see, they called one a portal and Acousis token, and one is an encounter token, I guess. We do have a settings and special rules for mission 1 right here. So it kind of tells you how to set it up and what to do there. That's kind of cool. I dig that. I like that it's kind of secret. You don't know ahead of time. Another easy to open thing here. So again, I probably won't keep it in here because I can put it back in the envelope. Okay, now here looks like this is different, obviously, than your hero cards, but similar. So this is probably the boss, I would assume, some like main bad guy there. Then we do have these like encounter cards, and notice they're like different stars and whatnot, and have different abilities. Again, the contrast here, even with the yellow, I feel is really good. The yellow and brown getting a little close, but overall quite nice. I dig that. I have no idea. I think it's cool that it's cut off, but you can still tell what the numbers are, but I have no idea why that's there. Yeah, this is okay. I will say sometimes, like, I feel like it's kind of hard to tell. Like, it's just a little dark. And again, for something so vibrant, like, I realize these are probably the same brightness, but they don't look it, right? If you take these two images, this one looks darker. Probably an optical illusion, but because it's surrounded by the darkness versus the lightness, it feels darker. In fact, this one feels darker than this one, like at first glance. And again, I think it's just because of the surrounding. Those kind of things can actually matter. Okay, but either way, it looks like you have different star version of them. Here's a comparison between a 1 and a 3 here. The different things down below. And then it looks like we have 6-1 black versus 6-1 white. Deal 3 damage to one target and heal 2 to allies. So everything's the same except for here on the right-hand side. And then obviously the bottom here. Kind of interesting to see that. Though the stars themselves might change things as well. You know, I don't know. Okay, so there's that. Now this looks like story cards. So spoiler for the very first mission, if that's what you're looking for. Now it looks like you get it this way. So you have the setup, mission, skull effect. And then you flip it over. And then you have like this little story bit. And then you do this one. And then you have this little story bit. And then you have this one. And then this little story bit. So that's kind of cool. And actually, it looks like a branching path here. 2B and 3A. Okay. Oh, so there's 2A and 2B. So you can go to either one there. Meet Queen Dian or the Chaos Gate. And then it looks like we have another twofer. A 3A and a 3B. Death of Queen Dian. So spoiler alert there, I suppose. But perhaps, wait, is there any difference here? Trying to see real quick. I don't see a difference here. So these, like, what? Hello? What the heck's up with that? Do you guys see a difference? Did I miss it, however? Looks the same to me. Okay. Yeah. That's something. And then we have the epilogue. And it would go into the next one. So it is story driven. Again, I don't know what's up with that other stuff, but either way, you do get some new. Looks like it's mostly just, hey, here's the enemies for this one mission. We're gonna like set them apart, so you know you don't know what you're getting into and stuff, as opposed to like necessarily these huge mechanics. There's a bit of stuff here, right? But not, they almost like more, at least on this one, more like variables than anything. Oh, I didn't put the standee on. Let me try that real quick. Real quick, we'll try one of both. Okay, so here is this, and we'll look at the marking there. So it seems to stand okay. Seems to look okay. I think that looks just fine. Take this off, and actually, it's a pretty loose thing. I can see a little bit of smoothness on the linen finish, but that's about it. So this is obviously, you know, kind of just barely tight enough. That's actually pretty much perfect. The only thing I worry now is this edge, because as you can see, or as you saw from the corners, they can kind of fray a bit. So it'd kind of be my only concern about doing it over and over again. Anyway, all right. Now, you can put all this stuff back in. So again, no like minis or anything like that. It's not like Death May Die too much in that sense. But let's look at what's in the back of some of these to see if there's any difference here. There's Darkstone cards, 30 of them here, and then Darkstone tokens, 16. And then like no general enemies here. Maybe I don't know if you add things to the boxes or what. I'm not sure exactly how that works. 17 story cards in that one. This one's a lot lighter. This one has, oh, that's kind of a cool token. That token in there? Let's see. Probably not. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's just a couple. Okay, all right, fine. You win. Made me open it up, get me all excited. Okay. 4 villager tokens and a dungeon exit token. That's kind of interesting. And this has seal tokens and stuff. So anyway, that's that's chapter 6 and 7 and 3 and 4. They're interesting. Anyway, that is the 8 chapters, it looks like, that the core box comes with. Okay, I'm going to take the silicone packets out just briefly, enough to look at some of these tokens and tiles. And then we have minis, and I think that's it. Pretty straightforward, not too bad. So it looks like, I wonder why they added 2 more. So often when they take this, I'm not too worried about it. They wrap them so that everybody gets kind of the same one. So why they have 2 extra ones, I'm not sure. It's kind of defeats the purpose. That being said, this is easy open, so I do appreciate that. Let's go ahead and take, I guess, a quick gander at them just to see the variety of tiles, because I think that's kind of important for any game, right? Like, how much variety are we going to see here? Okay, and then these 2 are the ones I'll punch out. So let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. All right, so they are not front and back, but they do have different styles. These are ruin tiles. Very like pinkish, purplish on a lot of these. Even this one, which incorporates a little bit of green and, kind of a tan, but they still have the like, pinkish purplish here. And as you can see, kind of transitions, I think, in a good way there. So I kind of dig that. Now here we have 1 ruin, 1 forest, and 2 deserts. So you can see kind of the difference in feel of them. That makes it a lot of circles, right? I'm assuming your minis go on there, but there's a lot of like circles. In fact, it looks like there's 4 in each one, and they are fairly obvious. I don't know what the connection point here is for necessarily, but definitely you can tell where the minis go on these. Also, there are these little dots, and I don't know if that's like this is the upper left-hand corner or not. And we do have some symbols here as well. But other than that, and some numbers also there. Probably where you spawn them, you roll the die or something like that. Some more here. I am liking the variety in art. I think that's super cool. And there's some good contrast going on all of these when it comes to like lightness and dark. Like, look how dark it gets. Very dark. That's kind of cool. I dig that. Okay, whole bunch of forest. It looks like maybe a ruin there. It's just crazy that already I can kind of tell the difference. So shows you kind of the thing there. And then this looks like city or something, right? What is it? Castle. Castle. All right. Now we do have 2 here. We have a castle and dungeon. Let's go and take the dungeon out. In fact, we'll take both out. Why not? Why not? We'll do both. Okay, so they punch out great. Like really, really good. That was easy. And then I guess they link like that. Now, again, I don't know what the circle part is really used for here. I don't know. I'm not sure what feature that adds that they wouldn't have otherwise. But anyway, that's all the tokens. I like the variety. I do appreciate that. All right, let's take a look at this bad boy here. Looks like we have a big old board, so that's kind of cool. Trying to get this open. There's that bad guy there, so I'm assuming these are just different bad guys. There's the Banshee Queen I see as well. Okay, so looks like there's actually not too much variety here when it comes to that. So we have the success and failure here. We got some big circles here. We have a few various tokens here. These look nice. Like that just looks good to me. Kind of mushy getting it out, and I'll hold it up because I don't want to zoom out too much. As you can see here, there's quite a big, it's not even necessarily tag. I mean, it is, but it's because this is inside of this, and then it kind of juts out a little bit. So while I think the art looks great, the actual feel of the token is a bit heavy-handed in the cutting process there, I feel. Did I do that wrong? Does it need to be this way? No, maybe. Okay, yeah, yes. Hey, do I know? All right, and again, I don't know why these are full color and these are like abstract icons. I'm not sure how they decided between one or the other. And even bigger bases here. I'm assuming that's for like health and stuff like that. But it'd be kind of, I don't know how that works. Just being flat like that, I'm not exactly sure. Or like, why are the gems all that? And this one has like the whole art, and then these have big white borders. I don't know. This one looks like, it's cool that they have all these little boards here for this kind of stuff. And it looks like it comes out pretty good. It's a little bendy, but it seems to lay flat as far as I can tell. It looks like you probably put cards and stuff here, like potions and stuff like that. Very cool. I dig that. And then Like I said, there's that one here and this big one here. Let's take that out as well. These look great, by the way. I do like that. Okay, so again, back shows nothing here. We do have a whole lot of markers here. Enemy attack, enemy card, and the enemy attack discard. So that's pretty cool to see. I'm glad they're kind of supporting organization through stuff like boards. I think that's kind of cool. And I didn't notice any bend or anything like that. It's all linen finish as well. Okay, so the only thing, guys, that leaves are minis. So let's take a look at some minis, huh? Let's do that. Now I think we're gonna start probably with the characters and then go to the monsters. So the trays, by the way, the tops have lids, the bottoms do not have a lid. It's assumed at the bottom of this axis one, I guess. They do have these little locks to kind of keep the lid on, and it seems to work fairly well, except not everywhere. So as you can, I mean, I guess no, not really. As long as you hold it in a position, yeah. So not enough of an indent here, I think, to truly matter. Also, it does have the Epic 7 here, but it's hard to see because it's a shiny clear plastic. I would have preferred something like black or, you know, something like that. Maybe bright green for this game, who knows. All right, let's go ahead and start with these. Now, I had resin versions of these in the prototype, so it'll be interesting to see the actual PVC final production plastic version. And as you can see, we start out with a bent sword. Now, this is, oh my gosh, this is, wow, super bendy. That's crazy. Like, that being said, like, I almost have it fixed already. In fact, now it's like bent the other way. So I guess there's that. I do appreciate that it's not super fat. It is actually like really good on the skinny department. See, if it was thicker, it would be more firm like that, but it's not. Again, doesn't mean I need to kind of play around with it a little bit. Maybe do the hot water treatment. Shouldn't be too bad though. And again, it does look good. So there's that. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to make sure I stay in camera as much as possible. Okay. Let's see, it does look like there is a front-facing marker here, but otherwise it's all flat. It does seem to sit not quite flush. It does kind of pop up a little bit. So like, it seems, you see that little thing right there? See, it's almost like a strain mark. And that's what that is. It's kind of right down the middle there where this was, whatever the process was to do that, it kind of like curled it up a little bit. And it could be that the pressure from the feet as well. Looking at the miniature itself, it looks like actually a lot of the details came out fairly well. So I'm pretty happy with that overall. The bendy sword was actually probably one of the more egregious things, though there is some loss of detail around the hilt and stuff like that, which is unfortunate because I know that's an important thing. That being said, a lot of the like detail otherwise, even like this little trim here around the cape looks good. They do have designs here. It is a outcropping instead of an indent. I prefer to go in, mainly because painting the sides of a raised curved surface like this could be incredibly frustrating. Putting your brush into an inlet and just having the brush naturally paint the sides as you paint it, so much easier, so much easier. But either way, it's nice that it's there. The assembly looks like it did a pretty good job, so that's good. Face, hair, all that looks good as well. Yeah, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with that, especially considering how indie this is. All right, here's this kind of demon person here. Again, they didn't use any ABS, even though they should have in places like this. Or if nothing else, connected it to the hair, which is probably what I'll do, just to give it a little bit more stability. So then at least it's that, and this is actually quite stable. But instead, it's all just attached there, and that's about it. And yeah, pretty skinny. A little bit wobbly, as you can see, even glued onto the base as it is. And it does look like they need some sort of cleanup on these as well, or you know, maybe not. It almost looks like some very faint armor here, and it looks like this is supposed to be some very faint armor, and then it goes. I don't even know. It's kind of hard to tell with the plastic. That being said, they're doing what Awakened Realms struggles with E-Star. So obviously E-Star to make this, or they're just doing it better. Did it have on the back maybe? Hold on, I'm kind of curious now. They don't always say. Smile Gate Megaport Super Creative Gameland. Is Gameland what made it? I don't even know. Either way, not E-Star, or normally E-Star does put their logo on there. And they have fingers, individual fingers, non-mitten hands. Look at that. That looks like such a better hand than everybody doing this in the entire game. So much better. Do really actually like seeing that. And look how dynamic the pose is on this one. So not only does it have the tail coming on, it's a separate piece, and the hair again separate piece, and then the arm again separate piece. So they like put some money in this to make it, you know, look more interesting design-wise. This guy is awesome. I wish every character or every board game had a character like this guy. That is just, I mean, he is just ready to fight. Is this? No, that's his wrapping. That's kind of interesting. So he wrapped the handle and it's like coming off. That's interesting. Super spiky, deep shield. I mean, just massive. Clasps on his arm, so it does show that, which is great. Huge like horns on his like helm and big fur cloak and giant like shield symbol on the chest, and then this axe is massive and it's broken into 4 different blades, and it just, you know, you got the cape flowing up here with like holes in it and tatters and junk. Just so cool. What a cool and fun mini this one is. This is why I think painting would be fun. And then I look at something like trying to get some features on the helmet of a face and struggling with that. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. So it's this kind of weird in between portion here. All right, put him back, however the heck you go back. This one's kind of fun. This is the lady with the floating thing, but also they can't have it floating very easily, and they don't want to kind of attach to her without it looking weird, so sitting with it makes it to where it can just be like in her lap. Now, they did do some filling here that is super unfortunate. It does kind of kill the illusion a lot, so kind of sad to see that. The glasses came out super crisp, so I'm actually impressed with that, even though the phone here isn't half bad at all. So that's, that's cool to see, but at the end of the day, that filler here, really a bummer, because that's such a big, you know, it's like, it's their weapon, you know, it's a big part of it. Okay, then we have this lady here, and is she missing her? Oh, okay. So her hand's on it. Okay, I was like, where's her other hand? I saw this one. So what's cool, though, is sculpt design minus the whole weird hand thing that looks like she's missing it. I like that the knees are together like that. You don't see that very often. It's kind of cool, and the leg come out within the foot flat. I like that look. This is empty. She's like sitting on a floating book. That's a very cool idea. I do really dig that. The like symbology on here is indented, so it's different than the one on the cape that was an outcropping of it. This one is indented. Now, it's not quite enough to where I think a wash will really show up well without it being stark. So like a known oil or black wash, right? Something like that. But if you do that, I think it could still be pretty cool and pretty easy to paint. Now this is fun. This is on purpose. It's supposed to be like this. Look how skinny it is. The swords are still super skinny. I really do appreciate that. That's really cool. Fingers are separate. Again, very cool. That being said, what the heck is going on with her hand here? So, yeah, I don't understand. Hello? What? Yeah, why are her hands so weird? There's like too much of a gap between, like, I feel. Let me zoom in a little bit here, kind of show you what I'm talking about. Like, does that look like a hand to you? Like, even if I cleaned up a little bit of that, it just seems like this is almost where the thumb is, and this is coming out of like the wrist over here, like another one, or so. It just looks very separate from the rest of the hand, in a very weird way. This one's a little bit more natural. Yeah, it's weird. I do like the added magic here. I do like that. I like the small little details, like what's in her hair and stuff like that. It's super cool. The assembly all seems actually quite nice. Like the little furrowed skirt thing. Like, there's a lot to like about this, but those hands are weird. All right, now this is the healer lady here. Really love her staff. I think the staff looks super cool. And again, she's also got, what is going on with her hand here? Hello? It looks like, do you see what I'm seeing here? What the heck is that? I think it's supposed to be a butterfly. Oh, this is a butterfly. Okay, so I wonder if it's in the art. Let me see. Oh, goodbye. Okay, here. Where? Okay. No, I do not see the butterfly in the art. Unfortunate, because that would have, actually fit in. So she has a butterfly here, and that's what's like when you look at it from the top, which is how you'll see it, right? You can see the shape of the butterfly there, right? The 4 different wings there. Okay. The problem is the rest of her hand looks terrible. Terrible. Like this, what happened? Like there's no hand detail at all. Very, very unfortunate to see that. I love again, this is so weird. So they have something like that where the hand just looks like a stump with a block of Play-Doh butterfly wings on it. And then they do something like this where the legs are separate so they can go up into the skirt. So that's completely separate. It's not filled in at all. And it looks fantastic and realistic. Or this like really cool little staff that she's got. Again, very, very cool. Or the really nice and detailed hair. Again, very, very cool. So there's, again, this weird mix between everything. It's just, I don't know, interesting. We got one more hero here. This guy. Again, very, very cool design. I love the furled cape here as it's kind of splayed out. Again, it has a lot of detail on this one. All of it outcropping. The fur still looks cool. The armor still looks cool. His hair looks very cool in anime. This sword, I think, came out quite well. It is attached here. It's a little slightly obvious, but at the same time, it works helping get this straight while not being super thickened. He's holding the shield in a very cool way up here. I think that's awesome. I can see where he would put his hand through. That's cool. The assembly here maybe slightly didn't go in enough. Looks like it's a little bit out, but not too much. Yeah, this is a cool one. I really like him. Now we have some cute guys here. So the enemies, they start out like this, which is just fantastic. I really love this little frog guy. So he is, 3 pieces? It's just a basic one. So that's not bad at all. And he takes up almost the whole base. I love that he's wearing, I love everything about it. I love that he's wearing a hat. I love his eyes, his gigantic like throat versus like the rest of his body where his feet are super tiny and stuff. But then you even have like this one, like these are just really cute. Again, the sword came out great. Little furrowed eyebrows, love it. The tiny little shield, adorable. The tiny little cape, even more adorable. Like this is just a super cute little enemy that I don't want to actually fight. Yeah, that's awesome. The wood grain on the shield is perhaps a little light, but other than that, it's pretty cool. All right. Then we also have the tree guy here. Probably the most straightforward of them all. I like that there's enough stuff here to not make it look kind of, like filled in too bad. It actually looks fairly good. This obviously has no texture. You'd want to paint that like black or something like that, I imagine. But then I think it'd look great. The detail on the wood, at least the design of it, maybe not necessarily fine detail. There's a few glyphs or something like that, but that's it. Either way, it looks good as well. And that's like the whole first trailer. That's not bad at all. Now we do have some clips here. I'm not going to open them up too much. I'm just noting that the colors are very bright and vibrant, and that these are the hard plastic ones, not the silicone/rubber ones. Okay, so here we do have several of these guys. Again, this time the sword's thicker, so I don't know why sometimes they're doing that, sometimes they're not. I don't know. I do like the overall stance. I do like him kind of leaning way over here like that. Again, towards the actual front, so he kind of looks at you like that. And the inside of the shields are actually pretty good. The sword's a little bent. This is filled in a little bit. And yeah, his face completely covered. The feathers here, barely even there. But the detail here in the chainmail is actually pretty darn good also. Yeah, he's cool. I like it. Okay, we got the rock monster here. You guys saw this from the prototype. I think this one's fun. I love the like hand, and I love that it's like, pushing on there or just laying there. I love the fist raised up here. I like the fact that he actually has like what looks to be almost like a separate jaw. Just a lot of super cool stuff around this guy. And again, he just feels solid as well. So yeah, very, very nice. I dig it. One more for the main enemies here. We got this like snake looking kind of dude here. That's freaking sweet. Super cool to see that, I think. Very spiky, like slightly painful spiky. But very, very cool. These fingers look incredible Really, really good. The teeth look pretty okay. Again, it gets a little softer around the face and all that, but all the other detail, fantastic and really, really good. Now that's it for the regular stuff. Now there are these red, and I'm assuming are boss miniatures. So let's take a look at that. And guys, let me know. This is obviously still the core box, I think. I don't know if there's anything else. So let me know if I'm missing something. Let me know if they're shipping that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all that. So this is another one I got, which I think looks very, very cool just because of this giant scythe. Obviously, it is bent out the wazoo, so it needs to like not be that way, I would think. It's probably the desire there. I love that this is all from the bottom here. So it's not like from the back of the shoulders or anything like that, right? Like a full cape. Yeah, again, the weapon's super cool, but it is super skinny and bent out of shape, which is really sad. This needs to be closer to that, I would think. And again, it'd almost just be like gluing it here is the right answer, and then make everything else kind of match that. The terrain that they add on some of these, I do really appreciate that. And normally it means a dynamic pose. This one, not so much, it's on a platform, but it does give a good sense of that and allows this to come down without hitting the floor, right? They almost had to raise her up a little bit or change the angle of that. The little frillies here look good. Yeah, the main disappointment here, the only disappointment here, wow, that little hair tuft, very cool idea. I do dig that. Is she wearing a mask? It looks like she is wearing a mask, so I want to forgive not really seeing a mouth there, sorry. But this weapon is just a little too curved up for me. All right, and again, I think these are the boss minis. All right, then we have this one here, kind of like I think this is like the Ice Queen or something like that. Love the skirts and stuff like that. I hate the filler here that they added. I don't understand why they even bothered doing that. Just like set this down slightly or put pillows here. I don't know, something. I don't know. Icicles or whatever. The fingers, again, super cool to see. Love seeing that. And I do like these layers. Yeah, see, do you see this layer? Why can't this one be like that? Why does that have to be filled in? I don't know. The hair looks very, very interesting. It's kind of a stylized version, but I think it works. Facial features, you know, it are there, but the mouth is so faint. It's just, it may as well not be. Okay, two more. This is the first one, and it is freaking sweet. Look at that snake head. Like, that's just a cool freaking mini. Look at that. That is freaking awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This guy, again, I love his, like, bangs here. It looks like Trunks after when he comes out of the, like, periodic time chamber or whatever that's called, right? After he trains with Vegeta and his hair's all long. He's got these gigantic things just like this. So I dig that. The sword actually came out really good. The snake, the teeth are good, but the inside of the mouth, not so much. Not only is there a big, obvious line there, but it's just not textured or anything like that, which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, all this looks really, really good. Again, the sword looks great. Scabbard looks cool. I dig all that. The pose is interesting. Very cool one. Okay, now the last one we have here is this big bad boy, which I don't know what he is. He's like a centipede hydra or some weird junk. It must have been, I don't know. So it must have been some weird thing to make this, right? The legs here, really cool. I do like those. I like that they're not even using the legs. It's more slithering around. I love the fact that the top, it's almost like a centaur. The top half is like more humanoid, right? So he's got the arms and the normal torso that doesn't make any sense on a centipede anyway, with the head coming out here. The fins and all that cool stuff here looks awesome. Love the separation between the horns. Looks awesome. And then these two guys helping out, again, awesome. Inside the mouth, still disappointing, but otherwise, it's pretty darn cool. And guys, that is literally everything. That is it. What do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you think I should go ahead and give it some time of day. But otherwise, that'll be it for now. Hey guys, real quick as I'm packing this up, this does kind of stay okay. I mean, they're going to slide around a little bit, but for the most part, it is kind of tight in here, so that's not too bad. So just as an FYI, again, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get this in. Just kind of winging it, but it's not terrible actually, thanks to the fact that it's so tightly packed in here. That's actually not too bad. So yeah, actually kind of packs up kind of nice, to be honest. But again, I haven't punched out any of the tokens yet, so I'm assuming I'll need another bag for that. Either way, that's it. All right, take care. Bye, guys.